Okay, so this is me practicing channeling. I don't know that these will ever be shown to anyone, but this is something I've been called to do to practice. And I don't know if it's just to get comfortable in front of the camera. I'm just listening with action. So if you see this, great. If not, that's okay too. It's like a journal, a video journal, I guess, of sorts. Maybe it'll make it onto YouTube, maybe it won't. Maybe I should flip it in case it does I do decide to put it on YouTube. If not, it'll just be, because I'm just doing this on my phone outside. So I came outside, some water. I don't usually drink, full disclosure, I don't usually drink out of a glass like this. I usually have another glass, but for some reason I grabbed this one because it's really sunny out today. And I thought, oh, the sun can charge my water for me. Anyway, I digress. I have my beautiful clear quartz sphere I got. And I set the intention that this would be one of the crystals I use when I work with Metatron. So when I did my level 1 Metatron training, they had you pick some crystals to have with you during your attunement to set the intention. So this is one of my crystals I use to connect with Metatron. This deck is the Psychic Tarot deck, I believe. I don't even remember who it's by. I can put it, if I end up posting this, I will put it in the description. A while ago, when I started working with tarot cards, angel cards, it's not tarot cards. When I started working with oracle cards and angel cards, I decided I was relying heavily on the book and not on my intuition. So I said, man, I really would like to start really just not using the books and relying on my intuition and my gut and really what spirit is speaking to me through me to me. So I ordered, and I don't have the actual deck, I ordered another deck. Came, and right away I knew something was up because it wasn't in the cellophane. It was in just the box. I opened the box right away and this deck was in there. It had a guidebook. The guidebook was not for this deck. This deck did not belong in that box. So, long story short, my guides, second time my guides have done this, sent me these cards via Amazon with no book for me to practice with. So I really try to incorporate this particular deck into every reading, and ironically, it has like the chakras in it, and it's got some plays on tarot cards. So it's a combination of the two decks. All the things I like to do are all in here, and there's even colors. So there's different colors on the outside, which I'm sure means certain things. If I had the guidebook, it would explain to me what all that means, and I'm sure I could find it, but I haven't really looked into it that much, so that I just go off of and these black cards, I have figured out that these cards match up with the major arcana of the tarot. So with these, I could look up traditional tarot meanings based on the number. But again, I have chosen not to do that at this point in time, and just chosen to see what cards come out. And immediately as I shuffled this, I was just thinking to myself, what do we need to know as a collective? So when I first, this card is at the bottom of the deck again, even though I just sat here and shuffled them. When I first pulled them out of the box that I keep them in, the shadow card was on the bottom. As I'm recording this video now, Mercury just entered retrograde during Libra season. I'm a Libra, I was born in Mercury retrograde, so it doesn't really affect me that much. But it's been it's funny because I was thinking about this, and a lot of astrologers have been posting this, it shouldn't be doom and gloom. You shouldn't be oh God, it's a full moon, or oh God, it's this, or what's yeah, it can affect your mood and stuff, but if you're following someone who's instilling fear in you, or you're just not resonating with, unfollow them. Even if that's me. If you follow me and I no longer resonate with you, unfollow me. But anyway, the shadow card was on the bottom of the deck. Light and dark. So many times people think shadow work has to be this dark, scary, terrifying thing. And I personally don't think it does. I think shadow work can be healthy. I think shadow work for me has been recognizing unhealthy patterns, recognizing conditions, things that I was conditioned to be, like fears I was conditioned to have, responses I have to my loved ones, responses I have to my husband, responses I have to my son, were all things that I learned through shadow work that were not mine. They were things I was conditioned. Even now, like, I do a lot of things that are against the norm or against the grain when it comes to parenting, and I don't label it one thing or another because I feel like labels can get us into these boxes of feeling limited by. So like, yeah, I'm a Libra, but I'm also a Leo, and I'm also an Aquarius rising, and I also have like all these other energies in my chart, and then I also know a little bit about my human design. But I try not to let any of those things define who I am, because I'm an ever-changing, ever-evolving being, and I don't want to be defined by that stuff. Like, I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm a daughter, I'm a sister, and I'm an aunt, and I'm all these wonderful, beautiful things. I am a Reiki practitioner. I'm a Metatron color healing practitioner. I'm so many wonderful things, but to label me one thing, I don't like it. I don't want to label. I do lots of things. I do have things on my label, like thing that like I'm a massage therapist, but I don't look at them as like, I don't let them define me. Like, yes, I am a licensed massage therapist. Yes, I do Reiki. Yes, I help people heal themselves by holding space for them, by opening the channel and letting the energies flow through them. But nothing that I do isn't anything anyone can't do on their own. I'm just holding space for people. But so back to the cards. I shuffled the cards because that's what I do when I get a little nervous, and I get a little nervous when I record videos right now. So, base chakra, grounded. That's why I'm out here. I'm leaning up against a tree. I'm in my son's sandbox. We have sand all on the ground here, and I thought, what better way to really connect and really channel than to get out here in nature and ground and really balance my base chakra or energy center. That's a whole nother video. I have a whole nother video on itself, but for now we will call it the base chakra or energy center. If you don't like me calling it that, you can unfollow me. Anyway, I might edit that part out. So the other card that kind of flew out as I was nervously shuffling the cards talking to you guys was waiting game. Look at this beautiful waiting game. So the first thing that sticks out to me is waiting game is that this looks like a newly blossomed tree or plant. And so many times we plant a seed, like if it was a seed and you were planting a seed, so think of like some spiritual manifestation you're coming up with. If it was a seed and you planted that seed in the ground and you dug a little hole and you put the seed in the dirt and buried it back up and watered it and came back the next day and there was no plant, you wouldn't dig that seed up. You wouldn't dig it up and be like, what's it doing? You'd just leave it there because you know they need time. It needs time to grow. So and I'm guilty of it too, like wanting something or thinking something's meant for me and just rushing game. So this is, to me, card is about patience. And then I also see these rings as like kind of, because this one's going this way, kind of different timelines and how things can shift just by waiting. So like if you look, like this guy's kind of standing on this ring and he's kind of waiting there, and it almost like he's traveling this we'll call it a timeline. So he's on this path. Oh, I like that better. He's on this path. But anytime he can make a choice and he can step left and enter to this path, or he could step to this path that kind of goes like at a different angle. So we're never, ever, ever trapped on our path. Our path can change at any time. We just have to make the decision. That's one thing I hope, if you're getting readings or seeking advice from, I don't even know what they call them, mediums, psychics, or whatever, I hope whoever's giving you messages are saying that you have the choice. Like, empower yourself, that if you ever get a reading from me, I'm empowering you with knowledge. That does not mean this is how it's going to be. It's a hard, like, you're stuck in this path or timeline. Things can shift. You can choose the higher timeline. You can choose a lower timeline. Oh, patience again. Patience and planning. So this card is just about that. Patience, planning. There's some green. Green to me is about fertility. There's some blue, and there's some beautiful yellow. And then there's, to me, these remind me of light codes. If you've ever seen me post on my Instagram, I post pictures of the light codes. And then there's these two pillars of, like, I don't know, they almost remind me of pillars of justice. But it's like patience, just having patience. Oh, and then look, it's got, this card looks like it's got the different seasons. Like, here it's raining, and then spring, fall, and then this is snow, so winter. So patience and planning, we have all these different seasons that come. We have different seasons of life, and it's really powerful if you embrace that. If you embrace everything as, like, this is just a small window in time. Like, my son is 2, and 2 can be a difficult time. Toddler years can be a difficult time. But in this grand scheme of his life, it's such a short time that he's a little kid and gets to just have the wonder of being 2. Like, the wonder of, like, wow, look at the grass, feel the grass, just playing, and just having the wonder that it is being 2. Let's see here. I feel like we should do one more card here, because we did the chakra card, so we'll do one more card. Can I have one more card to round out this video, please? I like that one. One thing you'll learn about me is I'm kind of all over the place. It's the Aquarian energy in me. All over the place, but stand your ground. So, as you're waiting and patiently planning, stand your ground in your beliefs. Don't let the people, this is coming up with a lot of people right now, a lot of spiritual people are talking about standing your ground, not forgetting that this is going to be a rough few months. That's what a lot of people are saying. But it's perspective, having perspective that it's just a season. See the different seasons in this card? It's just a season. The seed you've planted, this waiting game you've been playing here, is coming to fruition. If you look at this, you've chosen the higher timeline, you've jumped, you've put in the work. It's time to stand your ground, and look, he's standing his ground and he's triumphant. And, he's been on this dark side of the moon, or I'm calling it the moon. He's been on this dark side, so he's been doing the shadow work, and rooting into himself and working on his base chakra, and you've been working and learning who you are. And I really feel like before we know it, it's just going to be this huge shift. Oh, and remember, so this goes perfectly with standing your ground. Where did that go? Your solar plexus, yellow, knowing your power, owning your power, standing your ground. These are all beautiful things that will help you get through this season of life that we're in. It's a beautiful time to be alive. I know it seems crazy to say that, and that's okay. You don't have to agree with me. But I personally think it's just a beautiful, beautiful time to be alive, and a perfect, beautiful time to just watch things unfold and unravel. And I'm going to stop the video here because it's getting close to a time where I can post this to Instagram, because it's under 15 minutes. So yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for learning with me and growing with me, and I hope you have a beautiful day And until we meet again, namaste.